I'm not gonna lie.
You got it. You got it.
Oh my God, look at it.
All right, this is an absolutely hilarious story. It appears that Dr. Umar Johnson has been exposed for being a hypocrite, apparently, but there may be more to this story. Now, before I get into this, I want to say that this guy is, he's a very influential person in the black community, but he is, his thing, I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that most of the stuff that he says, I would say, or a lot of it, because he preaches more of like the self-segregation thing. He says he's like the Prince of Pan-Africans, I think. Apparently, he actually is a real doctor, but when he's a doctor of psychology, I actually only recently learned really what the difference between a psychologist and a psychiatrist is. Basically, a psychologist is somebody who gets a degree in psychology and can be like a psychologist at your, school or wherever it is. But a psychiatrist is somebody who is actually went to medical school, got their medical degree, and is able to actually, diagnose you and give you medications. But him, I think he just got like a PhD in the subject of psychology. I'm not 100% sure because he doesn't say he's a psychiatrist, so it's not like he can like diagnose people and like give them medications. You guys can clear that up for me. I tried doing research on it. It seems like that's what I was able to find, but his credentials seem to be a bit, conflicted over. But this is a guy who is very against black guys marrying white girls, and he wants only black men to be with black women. There was something really interesting that I had seen where it was like a beef between him and Kevin Samuels, because I think he was saying like Kevin Samuels was like whiteifying the black female or whatever. I don't agree with this self-segregation even in the slightest, especially because, you see that there's a lot of like black women that are getting with white guys. Like there's a lot of white guys who are getting into relationships with black women, and that's how society is supposed to be. We're supposed to desegregate, not continue to segregate. And so this is just self-segregation. And so I think that it's just really stupid personally, but it's funny for memes, honestly. But this guy, you can see in this video, he's talking to his white girl. The way it looks like, they're talking and like she's getting his phone number. But here's his explanation to this, okay? He says, yes, I was at Cherry Hill Mall today. My iPhone crashed last night, and the closest Apple store with an available appointment today was in Jersey. I love this explanation, by the way. So serious. He says, as I was leaving the mall, I stopped at a kiosk to view the incense and crystals. That non-African woman is simply the vendor. And he sent out a longer Instagram explanation. I'll read to you guys. It says, yes, I was at the Cherry Hill Mall today. My iPhone crashed last night, and the closed Apple store with an available appointment today was in Jersey. As I was leaving the mall, I stopped at a kiosk to view the incense and crystals. That non-African woman is simply the vendor. A supporter came by for a photo, a black man, like there was no space in it, which prompted her to ask me who I was. Told her I was a popular psychologist in the black community. I paid for my merchandise and went on with my life. If you dusty, still funny-loving beta males, oh gosh, that's cringe, don't believe me, then please visit them all and ask her personally if we exchanged phone numbers. I was dealing with food poisoning and wasn't in the mood for all that anyway. I love the detail he's going through. He's really trying to exonerate himself of any potential guilt here. His legacy, his whole reputation is on the line here. He's like, dude, I can't be caught out here with the snow bunny. This is going to ruin my entire reputation, everything that I have said and supported. This is going to destroy my entire reputation. He's saying, I had food poisoning. Like, dog, I don't want to know that you're having diarrhea and stuff, man. Like, I'm good. So chill, haters. That's a logical fallacy anyways, though, because what? Just because you're talking to a girl and trying to get her number, it means the only possible thing you could be doing is trying to have, like, sex the same night. What if you were trying to get into a relationship later, or you wanted to have sex later on? So that's a logical fallacy anyways. It's kind of a similar one to, like, like a bifurcation fallacy, but it's not really two options. It's just one. So I don't know what that would qualify as. He says, heavy is the head who wears the crown. I don't really know what that means. Maybe y'all can tell me. But it appears his legacy is on the line here. Now, I don't know about you guys. I frequent a lot of malls. Not a lot of malls, but some malls. That's somewhere to go. Honestly, it gets kind of boring because it's kind of the same stuff over and over again. But anyways, that's what his story is, that, he's at the crystal stand, which you can see it is like an incense and crystal stand. And I don't know if y'all been to like malls, go to malls often or been to them. I go to malls pretty often, so they do have these kinds of stands of like, oh, this is CBT lotion, or this is incense and crystals. This is this and that, blah, blah, blah. And you can see back there, it is a crystals thing. You can tell by her reaction that she is like showing surprise that, oh wow, like, wow, you really are this like big psychologist in the black community. Or you can tell that's her reaction. She's basically saying that. So I would say he is exonerated. I'm going to exonerate him in this situation. People are going to laugh about this because it is funny for the memes, but I do believe what he is saying here, that does make sense. Now, one thing people were saying was that he was breaking his word or being a hypocrite by spending black money on white incense and crystal products. I don't know, if that's part of his said philosophy. Again, like, I don't know everything about this Dr. Umar Johnson guy, but, like I said, from the stuff that I've seen, he's all about self-segregation amongst black people. That's what he's basically a self-segregationist. There's been a lot of, like, history of black people advocating for that, and there's going to continue to be black people advocating for that. But if you're a black man and you love snow bunnies, like, go for it, man. Like, do whatever. Don't self-segregate yourself. Don't only say, oh, I can only be with black women. Same thing goes for black women. There's a lot of relationships out there where black women are with white men. That's how society is supposed to be. Everybody is supposed to be, open to being with each other, connected with each other. Our society is not supposed to be, oh, every race segregates within themselves. That's, just going to just result in de facto, segregation. And it's just stupid, honestly. Like, if it just doesn't make sense to me. So I don't agree with him at all. But this whole situation is just absolutely hilarious. This one says iPhone vendor outside a food court. Obviously, he's not at the iPhone vendor there. He's at there's an Apple store in the mall, and then he's walking around to the incense crystals thing. This story totally makes sense. This one says, now don't lie, Mr. Johnson. A lot. You got the little SpongeBob face you can see here. So real interesting people. With y'all at the food court again, his story definitely makes sense because it's the food court at the mall and somewhere else from the Apple store that was there. So it makes sense. Got lots of hilarious memes. I recommend you go in and check out. My name Dr. Umar, but when you see me, I'm white. Dr. Umar beating the Babylonian bimbo allegations. You got Snoop Dogg. He was praying. I think that's after he got off on his murder trial. A lot of guys probably don't even know Snoop Dogg he got off on a murder trial. Sometime in his career. It was early on in his career. I don't remember exactly the year though, but I think he was arrested when he was at like one of the award shows. He was with like Tupac and Suge, I think. This one says, you spend black money on white incense and crystals? So that might be a potential scandal of Dr. Umar Johnson's career. I don't know if this is going to hurt his credibility amongst the African American community. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That's something. But this is definitely not every black man needs a white girl. Being in the allegations, even though they're true. Umar has been snow bunnied. This is probably going to be a bad situation for him in terms of his career. But I personally am going to say that he is exonerated on this one. Everything he says makes a lot of sense. I go to a mall, so I do know there's like crystal stands and the food court is there, and Apple stores typically are in like the bigger malls. It makes sense. But have fun with the memes, man. This is absolutely hilarious. Needing to do a press release about talking to a white person is insane, LMAO, but it's his own fault. I totally agree with that. But the memes are going to be absolutely hilarious. It looks like he wasn't trying to view more than just crystals to me. You got Leland from RDC. Shout out to RDC. But yeah, this is absolutely hilarious. The memes are going to be funny, but I don't mess with his self-segregationist mindset and his message. If you are a black dude, you like white women, go for it. If you're a black woman, like white dudes, go for it. Everybody should be connecting with each other regardless of race. That's the whole point of ending segregation, obviously. So yeah, let me know if you know more about this guy. Obviously tell me, because I'm not like an authority figure on Dr. Umar Johnson, but I have seen some of his stuff. So this is just a hilarious story. Man's got snow bunnied. He got exposed for being with the snow bunnies. But no, I'm just joking. He is exonerated. That's my personal ruling. That's my ruling. My gavel. I don't have a gavel here, but yeah, he has been exonerated because his story makes sense.